Hello Warriors, this is Mars. Welcome back to another Elder Scrolls Online PvP video. Today is kind of a ranty video, just talking about the patch a little bit and talking about where I've been. If you've been following, I've been doing a lot more dueling. I kind of sat out on some BGs. I've been doing a little bit of BGs, but really just been dueling, working on my technique, working on builds, making adjustments, just that sort of thing. I feel like dueling has helped me improve quite a bit, especially in terms of just movement, maintaining major buffs, healing, all that jazz. I might do a dueling tournament that's coming up just to see how I stack up, to see if I made any major improvements. So far, I've been enjoying the patch. Even with all the proc sets, it is what it is, man. You just got to get used to that shit, or you just got to make adjustments. Procs are really strong, but it's like you can beat most proc builds if you play smart. But like, yeah, talking about builds, I think since I've been dueling kind of all around, or trying to duel all around against many different varieties of players and builds, it's like some people are really good, some people are really good, some people are pretty average, and some people are just carried by procs, dude. I'm not even a front, but that's okay. It's if people enjoy that type of playstyle, that is what it is. So moving on from that, like I said, I've been working on this build. I'm just incorporating different things, especially for duel for right now. But really, this build is going to be focused more on open world and BGs, so it's really going to be non-CP. Am I going to have a build video out anytime soon? I don't know. Who knows? This build is pretty decent. I'd give it if I were a different race, like an orc or a nord, I'd give it like a B plus. A red guard is like kind of like a C plus. I mean, it has good damage, it has good burst, especially if the combos are always up, but the meta for DK is just so much stronger. But to be honest, I really don't want to play that. I played dual wield enough on DK to really know it's very powerful. I like playing against it. I'd rather play against like a really strong DK dot build than to play it, because I have so much respect for the old sword and shield style of DK. It's kind of just an old head stuck in old ways, but I think I can live with that. But like I have nothing serious against like how DK is, but that shit is like, the meta is like really strong for DK. Probably some of the strongest I've seen since bleed ignored armor back in the day. Well, I think that was like a year or two ago. But yeah, like DK is really fucking strong, especially that build. Now, this build ain't bad. It's just the fact that I'm a red guard. Red guards literally have nothing compared to most of the dominant stamina races. That's okay because it has good stamp sustain. The sustain is probably better than most races, but now that since it's so easy to out-sustain, I mean, not out-sustain, but build into sustain, it's kind of irrelevant. So, like, why do I play red guard in that case? This is why I asked myself, just because I like red guard. I like DK. I like red guard DK. It's fun when you're not getting bursted. But playing against other classes, it's been pretty consistent. It's just like you can still get bursted very easily if you don't block cast, which is something I've been practicing. It's all trial and error. Like if I only posted my wins, it'd be like, bruh, you're not being honest. Like a lot of people will make the statement of saying like I don't lose that much. That's fine. That's acceptable. It's either you really have a really strong build, or you're just not challenging yourself. It teaches them. Anyway, it's like if I didn't post most of my losses as much as I posted my wins, that'd be hella unrealistic. And as a content creator, I wouldn't even like that. I didn't like that shit doing on Conan Exiles, only posting wins. But yeah, it's just I have learned from my losses. I've constantly reviewed footage and written shit down that I need to improve on. Like a lot of the things I feel like is the biggest thing for me is like improving movement. Well, no, that's a lie. The biggest thing is maintaining major buffs and making sure I don't cancel out like major buffs trying to use them. Because sometimes I'll hit rally, but I'll try to swap back to my front bar too quickly and it doesn't apply. Or like I'll let volatile armor fall off, and I don't use fragmented shield enough. That shit happens. That's one of the major things for this build, because this build actually has a lot of survivability, even for a red guard. That's what I was thinking. Like if I have a race changed, this build would easily be up there in terms of rankings. It's just not there as a red guard. Am I planning to race change is the question? Nah. He's gonna be a red guard forever, man. I'm not gonna change him to anything else. Am I gonna make another DK on a different race? Probably. Anyway, yeah, it's like all the duels that I've had have just been like practice. I've taken them hella seriously though, like really seriously. I've been wanted to. Some people I just wanted to knock their fucking teeth in. Like that's the whole competitive nature with dueling. I want to say some people are very aggressive with dueling. Some people are kind of conservative and chill. Some people like to run like the craziest sets. Like fucking, I've been hit by like a lot of shit in the last few days. Like some prop builds, like they could do one thing and like three things go off and do like a shit ton of damage. Like, bro, like you just hit me like once and you didn't even do anything. But that's really how the meta is, and I'm kind of made peace with that and just learning on how to counteract that. The major thing really, I learned that I definitely need to block a lot more. Definitely, and maintaining vigor is like a must. Vigor. If you've never been good at casting vigor, this patch is very good practice for maintaining it. If you've never been good at blocking, this is like the best patch to learn how to block, dude. Because if you're not blocking, you're dying. You are most certainly dying. I'm running out of shit to talk about. I guess I can talk about other classes. Now, there's been a lot of stigmas talking about how like some classes are weaker than others. It can be that, but at the same time, it's like a lot of the classes, I want to say, they're pretty balanced out depending on how they're built up. Like, you could say not Stam Necromancer. Stam Necromancer's fucking... That shit's fucking busted. But, like, Mag Necromancer, people say that class is the weakest. I don't really see that. If it's just the CC, if they ever get a good CC, they're easily going to be A rank. Like, even now, like, a really cheesy Mag Necromancer build, they do, like, even an average Mag Necromancer build does a really good amount of damage. Like, it's absurd. It's absurd how much that class can do. Mag Nightblade's still pretty decent. And well, no, they're not decent. They're really good in 1v1s. Open world, I can't say they're really the best, but that's okay. But, like, in 1v1s, a good Mag Nightblade can be really scary. They just do so much damage, and they can separate from you so easily. It doesn't... You can say because it doesn't have a ranged ultimate that it's kind of weak, but at the same time, it's like it doesn't really matter. If they maintain their shields and they have good damage, most classes can potentially take them out, but like if you don't time your burst or round up your burst correctly or have enough burst, they can drop you. They can drop you very easily. Like, Stam Blade's in the same category, but Stam Blade is in that position where, like, if you can't open a burst window, like, I have difficulty fighting most Stam Blades on this kind of setup. Like, if I was more of a dot build, which I guess this technically is a dot build, but like if I was like a legit dot build with like dual wield and blood and rending slashes, I could potentially fight more mag blades with more burst. I'd have a bit more burst and a bit more dot potential. But like at the same time, it's like you have to have a lot more burst to take them out, especially when they have that I'm not sure if it's Shadowy Cloak or Spectral Cloak. I don't remember what it's called. But the one that gives them more mitigation, it's like you can't really do too much unless they're really squishy. Like that's... And usually they're not. Like in a dueling scenario, they have a ridiculous amount of burst. But you know what? I prefer fighting against them rather than people who cloak all the fucking time, especially in duel. Like if you cloak in duel, like consistently, stop dueling. Just switch that perk out for something else and try something different. Just stop dueling. Because there's some really good Stam Nightblades. And then there's some really terrible ones. I kind of don't want to go on a tangent about all the classes. It's just how I feel about how they are ranked. Some classes are really better than others. Like that's just the simplest way I can say it. But all in all, like, dueling has really opened the game back up for me. I've enjoyed it quite a bit. Like, dueling has been pretty solid. Now going back into BGs, some classes are just going to eclipse other classes. That's just the truth. I think BGs is still in a pretty good state. I wish I could get into more death matches, because I only get like 1 or 2 death matches probably a week. It's really a very low value, but that can be a good thing because like there's a lot of groups that will pub stomp. Like that's what I've experienced. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much what I've experienced. I kind of said earlier that I didn't do much BGs, but I did. I just didn't do as much as dueling. Like I've just been focusing on trying to min-max the build. So I guess that's just about it. My next video I'll probably do a few more dueling clips, talk a bit more in depth about the stuff that I'm working on, and I'll try to make it not as ranty. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you liked it, leave a like. If you wanted to comment, leave some opinions or whatever, go right ahead. And if you like the video, sub. Helps me out. I want to say thanks again for watching, and keep on slaying.